amazing. It almost immediately bottoms the fuck out. Good God, what can I turn off? Just minimize or close everything. Give myself the best friggin' odds. Also turn on closed captions. Why is that a pop-up? I don't want that as a fucking pop-up.
Always going with Jesus to the always.
Especially since this song sucks. Yeah, you know what? Quit Discord. Don't need it right now. Drop Steam. I'm not sure if dropping Beats Audio is going to do anything. I mean, it sure doesn't feel like it does anything for the audio quality. Maybe, just maybe that's enough. Wow. 8-year-old laptop, folks. 8-year-old goddamn laptop. I also really hope the audio quality isn't shit either. It started, well that's good. And you can actually hear my voice and comprehend what I'm saying, so that's good. Now to do my socials by hand like some sort of savage. Goodness me. Oh, and would you look at that? The promo says that I went live according to Cider Elf bot. Amazing. Almost as though I don't need that reminder, but okay. I don't know. I know the bot's useful. I just, personally, I'm opposed to everybody getting a ping. But that's just me. Bedrock player and socials by hand? Who even are you? I know, right? Right? Some goddamn savage. Ah, fuck. Not sure if you heard that, but I just bashed my head in this headset on something hanging above my head. I'm gonna turn Amazon Music down a bit. And yeah, Amazon Music instead of Spotify or even YouTube. Like some sort of deranged, fevered monkey. Alright, let's switch over to the chatting screen. Salutations, darlings. Now let's see how this goes. I've only dropped 13% of my frames, but that's because I had a nice slow patch there, which was good, where nothing was happening. Yeah. 8-year-old HP Envy laptop with like a 20-inch wider than normal display, and it's a touchscreen also, and I did not. Beats by Dre Audio or Beats Audio, I did not buy it, somebody else did. They really trusted names, and I'm not going to complain because it was free. When they upgraded, they gave me it, but wow, watching this thing just randomly constantly bottom out. And it's not like my settings changed, I actually moved my profile over. This is the same profile I use on my desktop. Oof, sorry about the tension migraine, darling, I'm so sorry. Alright. I need to put voice attack on. Let's see what the fuck happens now. Come on, any second now. It takes this long to bring up voice attack, oh god. Darling? Darling? Okay. That's not okay. I'm assuming since you've responded you hear my voice. I'm not sure if you're hearing music, but I'm not hearing a ding whatsoever. Yeah, no ding. I had to juggle the audio just to get it to work. I'm using a Bluetooth headset, and it's a decent one, alright. I mean, it's a good one, it just is not something I've used for voice before, or let alone... How about there? Sounds like it might be working. Maybe. Possibly. Okay. So for those who did not get the memo so far, this is an impromptu workshop stream. I am testing out this laptop that I basically never use because I don't need a laptop when I have a gaming PC and don't go anywhere. I mean, it's just the way it is. If I absolutely need mobile computing, I have a good phone. 2 now, but one of them is an Apple phone, so it's a webcam only. And I did not realize until I was mentioning it to a friend of mine that this thing is 8 years old and an HP. But it is the second most powerful system I own, so I don't know, part of me says I'd be better off just plugging my phone in and attaching it to a mount and having it just hanging over, doing a stream. We will see. We'll see. Anyway, salutations, darlings. 'Tis I, the Yaogwai, here for a Thursday night, because I've lost all track of time. What even is reality and existing at this point? But, it's just been one of those weeks where you don't even remember where you are. The good life someday. Yes, indeed. Someday. Are you okay? Welcome in, Maeve, darling. Welcome in. And I'm about as okay as I am normally. It's a different and Fuck, knocked something over. Different and slightly varied version of my normal existence, so it's not something I'm used to. Actually knocked a couple of things over. Cool, cool. My workshop is so clean, you guys, I tell you what. Mavis 3rd, of course. I wanted to do a test of the workshop stream because if this works, which I had to, obviously I had to go to a static background just to get the transition stinger to go through. Hydrating, hail hydration. I have no idea how this microphone sounds. It's got basically the same software settings as my mixer, but is a microphone that plugs into a Bluetooth headset that's mostly meant for music. So it's probably not great. Probably a little bit better than I sound like on the phone. But if this thing will actually stay stable, which I mean, I suppose dropping frames here and there isn't going to matter if it's just going to be my hands for the most part. But, it sounds a bit odd. Okay. I'll keep that in mind now. I'll have to force myself to watch this VOD. If this gets unbearable, let me know, and we'll switch over to my desktop and just play Stalker, I guess? I don't know. Show you around my Minecraft world, of which nobody has been on, because everybody I know plays Java. And I'm the only one who's all like, oh, but Bedrock doesn't have Silverfish, and does have VR capability. Guess who hates Silverfish and loves VR? That's right, your guy the Yagwai. But I wanted to do this test because if it works in my workshop, it'll work just about anywhere. At least anywhere I've got halfway decent signal. I sound like the Redog from Fallout. Could have worse problems. Well, first of all, welcome in Omega Paladin. Thank you for being a darling and joining the fluff pile, and also welcome. Not an accurate representation of your voice. You don't want to hear that sound. This is not an accurate representation of your voice. I don't want to hear that sound bad. I'm not can you restructure the sentence? I'm not 100% sure I'm getting you on that, darling. Okay, I still do not need pop-ups from Amazon fucking Music. So into the settings on it I go. And why are you giving me... I don't even want the pop... You don't... I don't want to hear that you sound bad. Okay. Gotcha. Let me... Hold on, for fuck's sake. Audio quality standard, don't block explicit, loudness normalization. Bunch of settings I don't care about, I just don't want that fucking pop up every couple of minutes. There we go, turn off notifications. And then into the background you go. Well, I appreciate that I sound at least functional. Honestly, that's better than I feel. But, you know, I wanted to be able to set this up, I say as I try to restart my train of thought 3 times, so that I could, say, go over to my kitchen nook, my breakfast nook, which has a nice table and benches, and set up a larger model kit there, or spread some Legos out, or, I don't know, if I have people over, like, stream multiple people working on stuff, if they're cool with that. Could even do a in-game D&D game or something, in-person game of something. Don't know. But I have a feeling I'm going to need to get a new laptop for this, which means I should really just build a streaming box so I can do 2-box streaming. Use my gaming PC for all of the good stuff and then have a system that can stream competently do the actual streaming. And then just set that up to where it's got reach to go to my workshop or my table, which is between it, where I normally am. Where I are. Am I pirate now? I think I'm a pirate now. Where I are. When you review it, don't be too harsh on yourself. I'm gonna try not to be harsh on myself. I'm just gonna be harsh on the system. Looking at 15% dropped frames. This is all basically a test. I don't know how long the stream is gonna go. I hope I get to, stay for several hours and we enjoy some good conversations and stuff, but it really comes down to how well this thing actually wants to be. I didn't say darling in there, but okay. Also, the audio quality on that ding is awful. I'm honestly getting a little worried with the amount of prepping you're giving me, Fox, for watching this later. It's all good, it's all good. Let's go over to the live cam, and I pull myself back away from the computer. Oh god, that was some bad transitioning. But, let's see here. This actually seems like it's doing okay, which... Why is it green lighting here? I talked about voices an hour ago, so fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody has an issue with the sound of their voice, except egotistical dickheads, but, and people who, well, actually I was going to say people who professionally voice, but no, they do too. In fact, they're harsher on themselves because it's their job. Lighting some incense here real quick. I like incense. There we go. Kohime, darling, welcome in. Welcome, darling. Darling. God. Hey, Etta, welcome in, darling. It's trying so hard, but it is struggle busing. Oh my goodness. Yes, physical workshop. I've got a L-shaped, like one of those sort of larger-ish L-shaped computer desks that is my workshop, where I've got, let me show you around actually. It's not a lot of space, but that is the advantage of a Bluetooth headset, is that the audio quality kind of sucks, but I can just get up and walk around the table. See, there's you guys. We're upside down. And it's this L-shaped table. I've got, small projects and such over here with my vices and my drink. And over here I've got my old tool rack, which is a little smaller but red. A bunch of mini paints. Some minis I'm going to be painting. That statue of Chris I need to put back together after dropping it in paint. Small little, get above the light maybe. Yeah, chest of little parts and such. Bunch of assorted odds and ends I have to hang up. And then over here is, trying not to get myself into the camera. Just angled roof equals tool storage. Bunch of just stuff hanging up off of racks. Because it's an angled roof, it all lines up really well to give more space for hanging stuff. It is a small area. I mean, okay, but that wasn't, and you know what, whatever. You've missed a couple of dings anyway, darling, so you have that one. I didn't get a chance to train the voice on this thing, on this laptop. So it's got a 50% thinking threshold of whether it wants to recognize while also not having any training to it. So it's just lol IDK, why not? Ooh, yeah, as a sound muffler, the angled roof works really well. My computer area is just over there in a closet, and it's got the angled roof. I'm facing into it, but I also have enough monitors up that I would have had reflections from sound issues anyway, or sound issues from reflection anyway, so I'm not even worried about it. I sound as good as I can, which is... Well, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to start making Fox sad, and then Fox is going to bite me. And Edda will probably do so because a fox is biting me, so Edda's got to join in that being a fox themselves. But I kind of open-ended on what to do today. I just wanted to see how this works. I'm actually down to 11% frames dropped. How is this? How is rendering a 1080p camera? I mean, look at how old and jangly my hand looks. Like, look at the detail on that. How is this rendering better than a static background? Although I will say technically, since I don't think you two have met yet, Fox Lunarius is a fox-colored fae. Not technically a fox, but it's also pretty foxy, and currently a topiary. Their glamour's kind of stuck. Being somebody who has to use a fake glamour myself to cover up my monstrosity, I know how that goes. And then Fox Lunarius, Blue Hair Edda is a fox spirit. And I have to resist the urge to say baby wolf spirit to annoy Edda, but honestly, they're too darling to do that to. I did want to open up on stream, though, the dice set I just got from Bad Dragon, and just do a opening on that. Like that and filling this tool rack, and then after that, I'm not sure if I have anything planned. Is that... Oh, that stopped burning already? Come on now. Blow ash in your face, yes. Edda actually just made affiliate today or yesterday and celebrated today. They were the person I was watching before I shifted over to lurking them and then watching you, Fox. So wanted to be there, wanted to celebrate, and wanted to be happy with our darling blue-haired Edda, our darling Edda. You got most of those. But I also always want to try and support my streamers that are I know pulling in smaller numbers, especially if they're trying to get to affiliate. I want to be there for them because other people were there for me. Friends of Fluff are welcome. I love the fact that you call me Fluff, because you're just precious. Today I had a misadventure, came home to a message about qualifying. That's right, Edda. Yeah, you had, if I recall correctly, you went to the zoo and then got shoved into a bathroom. And, you know, not in the grinder way. No, you, this is your stream. Nope, no you. Sorry, darling. Let's check these dice out, though. They got... Focus, you fuck. Ficus? Ficus? I don't know, Fox, can you sell this thing to Ficus? There we go. Cripes. Nice, easy to read, but distinct and looking numbers, and that nice triangular bursty pattern that looks like if you tried to render a strawberry in Imperial Gothic. And they've got a, like, real classic sort of 90s-esque, it's really not picking up because of all the detailing around it, but the sort of classic pearlescent, red like you'd see back in the 90s, the very thick stuff, solid colors before they started realized they should go with a more transparent mix. dice have nice edging to them, but given where they come from, if they didn't have good edging, I'd be concerned. Do the thing? Did I miss a thing? Got there and herded me along a whole school trip because of the tornado in the area. I don't see me missing a thing. I mean, I miss stuff all the time, but I'm trying not to miss redeems. I need to program in. I don't miss them because they don't happen very often because I'm a new affiliate, so not a lot of people have a lot of points, but I still am worried about missing a redeem. I want to turn them all into sound redeems so that there's a ding. And then just, well, with the exception of the sound redeems themselves. So I'm using PF second Pathfinder 2 news? Oh goodness. Paizo is now releasing their stuff for 5th ed. Oh, get stick-bugged, Paizo. You literally transition over to making Pathfinder because fuck 4th edition, fuck D&D, we're gonna do our own thing with hookers and blackjack. And then 5th ed comes out, and Paizo's all like, hey, you know what we should do? We should redo Pathfinder, but let's basically just make it 4th edition. And that went over so well, they're now just going over to 5th directly. I mean, it makes sense because it's what they started as, was a splat book company for 3rd and 3.5, so going back to doing splat books and such for 5th. But sound redeem not go off. Okay. So another reason why I have those at 0 points right now, or 0 bits right now, is I don't know if it's going to function properly. And then D20. Where the fuck is the 1? Oh, there's a dragon. There's a 1. Okay, good. It's properly set. There's your 1. And then that bad dragony D20, nat 20. That comes up, someone's getting boned. Just saying. It's the only one that has the max value of the die as a symbol, but if there's going to be one, it should be that one. I did not get into Pathfinder myself. I'm not going to judge people who did, but I was the person who said, 4th edition looks okay. And then the books were way cheaper for some strange reason. And I ran it, and I enjoyed it. But I'm not going to knock people who wanted that crunch, who wanted to stick with 3rd, who thought it was fine. Okay, that's just not going to burn, so I'll put you out of the way then. I mean, probably not good having smoke waft up into the camera, but yeah, Pathfinder they shot themselves in the foot, and now we're just trying to survive, which is sad, but like... You like Pathfinder 2? I mean, I might judge you on that, but I'm just kidding. I do know you love that. You were talking about that when you're playing Resident Evil, I believe. Yeah, a lot of people had opinions that it borrowed too heavily from WoW or was too MMO-y, but honestly, the same criticisms came up about 3rd edition, and the same criticisms actually came up about later parts of 2nd edition. Not that it was WoW-y or MMO-y for the later 2nd ed, but just that it was too video gaming. And ultimately, a good bit of that is just the fact that, it's an RPG, RPGs are sort of gonna be like video games because they inspire video games. I mean, I don't look at the Baldur's Gate series and go, see, D&D 2nd was so video gamey. Look at this, Baldur's Gate. It's basically the exact same thing. So it'd be funny for somebody to defend that point of view. I think you have some objections about 5th Ed, but some of it is the fact that I've had all of one GM. Yeah, you also didn't have a very good one in my mind. Let me know your availability. I'll see if I can work something out and get a group together, because I know some people who, I know actually a lot of people who want to play. And as much as I would like to play in another game and not run a second game right now, I am cool with running a game. And you need literally anything but what you're dealing with. In this house, you defend Baldur's Gate as the best game ever made. I know. But, I mean, it's a rip-off of 2nd edition D&D, clearly. Run lots of 5e and Pathfinder, pretty much all I've had the chance to play. Or a chance to lately. Yeah, I personally want to do some, even though I'm playing with, you know, D&D dice, ostensibly, or what people refer to as D&D dice. At the moment, I would really love to get a game of, have a decent density and decent weight to them. They're not, you can tell they feel off from modern dice, but they're not bad, and they seem to be pretty random. Which is, you know, what you want out of a die. But I want to get a game of Cyberpunk Red, or anything involving Fate or Savage World, because those are my two favorite mechanics engines, my two favorite game engines, but everybody wants to do the 5th Ed now, the D&Ds. Don't know if anyone's ever played in Kevin Crawford's games, but big recommend. I do not know who that is, darling. I'm sorry. Darling. Darling. Darling! Fine, fuck your face. Really? Spaghetti. Counter is on strike today. Yeah, the Darling counter is currently on strike against the working conditions. It actually heard how well, or how poorly TTS Lady was being treated in Doppelstream and thought, I mean, by comparison, that machine's got it made. I can't believe it, those bastards. And it's currently on strike. Publisher, understand game, stuff like starts without their number or Godbound. Okay. Have heard of Godbound. Or I'm thinking of Runebound. One of the two. But I will check them out because Edda has good taste and is a wonderful fox person. Edda is best fox so long as they are the only actual literal fox in the stream. Because otherwise I'm not making that qualifier. That would cause some anxiety fits. The only thing I am more than sweet and supportive is anxious and kind of gurgly. And besides, Lunaris darling, you know I believe you are 100% best topiary. You can share with Lunarius. That's sweet of you. You get all the teeth, Edda can get all the pets. Are you saying you want my teeth? Most people want to avoid these. They're kind of pointy. But hey, who am I to King Shima Bush? Inapara? Oh god. Figure, well, we are talking, I might as well actually... It's either valuable, but what context are we talking here? Exactly my question. Yeah, that'll actually work well. It's just so many, like, the fact that this holds so many tools is great. But the size difference, once I get this thing cleared out, is just, it doesn't seem like a certain percentage is a lot, but two pipettes, just in case I can't reach the pipettes that are really literally on the shelf behind me. Let's just set this side by side. I like good old Red Skull here. It's really good. It actually opens up a lot of doors in my haunted ass house. But like these meth head looking dudes keep trying to shoot me with their shotguns, and then one will randomly go with a chain gun. Not really a problem for, you know, a Yagwai. I hope this is the kind of group who gets a Red Skull key joke. I know Eda has to. If not, I'm taking away their card. I'm not sure which one. Dog Girls of the Future. A Tooth for a Truth. Power of the mouth that bears witness to all the will of the voice. Yes, you have cards, so thus now you must believe in the heart of them. Sorry, them's the rules. But actually, now I need to find a use for you. It's not... It looks shinier on camera, but it's not that bad. Although if it was super glossy, that'd be pretty freaking cool. I actually don't have much use for you now that I have the biggin. And goodness me, like, just some of these are honkin' chonkin', like, second smallest hole we'll take, or sorry, second largest hole, we'll take these clippers, well, that clipper set. Nope. But my dusting brushes. It's always good to have dusting brushes. Or this one is also used for applying wipe on poly coat, which is what I've got on the brush. I did a burn and scrub. It's based on a Japanese technique for preserving wood, where you just burn the crap out of it and then kind of remove a layer or two. Those hunters sound troublesome. Gotta move out of those rainy, thunder-stricken woods. No. Nope. First of all, I'm in Washington. There's nothing but rainy, thunder-stricken woods. Well, okay. The media massively overstates how much thunder and lightning there is in western Washington. It's unfortunate, but it's never like Frasier. But my brother actually got pretty good at the technique of burning and then brushing off. And it makes a very nice pattern, weathered looking, but very good for grip. Feels good in the hand. And then he found out it's actually something that the Japanese have done for thousands of years. I did that to this hammer, which gives it great grip, but also allows it to create hot spots on your hand, so, you know, super useful, I guess. It always just comes out looking freaking amazing. And that's the important thing to me. And yeah, considering the cluster that was your kitchen, I don't blame you for clinging to literally anything at this point. You could really say that was a kitchen nightmare. I'm not apologizing. Assuming I'm not DMing, I will play just about it. I play just about anything, actually. I try to get a little bit of variety because I don't, I like Wizard, but I don't stick to anything in particular. My current favorite character is Simo Qualish, no relation, possibly, depending, because drama, who is an artificer. But he's the first artificer I've run, and I've actually run him through literally all the beta test material for artificer. Just every time he has an emotional catharsis, I change it, I move him up a generation. But yeah, I would actually like to hear you guys' everybody else's answers. I like the idea of Warlock, but the execution is mixed. I'm not going to say it's bad by any means, but it does lead to people who just openly and blatantly abuse it. Sork's a good option, and Paladin is always good. Speaking of, you know, rife for abuse. Yours is pretty easy to guess. You are 100% rogue material. And I do want to keep these out because these are nice because they're thermally insulated. But they also got a sliding. That was sliding, you stupid machine. Catch to them. So you can close them to a certain degree. Or just keep them closed. So those are nice, and I want to keep these in here for certain. Just happy I now have space to put everything I want in. Just a slight size difference in these holes makes all the difference. Halfling Paladin. Honestly, the small fighter, the small soldier is probably one of my favorite juxtapositions. Nope, cannot get all of my big files into one spot. That's not that one, so let's go ahead and they will fit into this one. Yes, because there's a slight difference. Keep the God Hand on the outside, but advertising facing in. Then I've got rounded scalpel, and you've already seen pointy, which I need to change the blade again on because here's that thing. Wouldn't mind trying a Necromancer. It's just 5th Ed kind of sticks it to Necromancers a bit. Like, at the high end, necromancers are phenomenal, like anything at the high end, but getting there alive, you're mostly not using necromancy, let's be honest. Bard is fantastic in 5th ed. Bard is really good, which is what annoys me about the horny Bard being such a meme. These ones are also good tweezers, because A, they're angled, and B, they're inverse, so they're spring closed. So they can hold a part for you while you put it in place, and then release, which is fantastic. Last time I wanted to play a Bard, I was looking at making a politician, political activist, but then they actually came out with a college that does exactly that, so it's not as fun as figuring out how to abuse what was there to make a character that is my own. Yeah. Micro precision screwdriver, very precision screwdriver, just miscellaneous, I guess. Actually, you're tall enough. I'll put you back there. You can go here. And I have these ones on hand because they're ceramic tipped. So they are good for handling things that are hot. They're meant for modifying or fixing vape pens or vapes, but I don't like or give a fuck about vaping. But they're good for things. And then, of course, hex wrenches. You gotta have hex wrenches. And they have space again. And do I have? A slot for you guys. There we go. Throws off the feng shui a little bit, but move you up. Put you back here. That way the brushes are even. There we go. And that has everything in its place very nicely. Also, I cannot stress how useful just a spare hacksaw blade is. Like, I got a hacksaw. It's, there we go. Right above me there. But that is unwieldy because it's a saw. This is exactly as small as you want it to be. Just choke up on the blade more. So if you're working on something that requires precision or requires getting into tighter spaces, kapow. I tune Vision Bard is closer to a red mage in Final Fantasy style. Not sure how often it plays out in practice. Honestly, yeah, because bards are full casters, but they are also D8 hit die, and depending on the path you go, you can make them more castery or make them more combat-y. Alright, well, you need to find a home for. Because I don't want to keep 2 skulls full of tools up. That's just asking for trouble. I'll put you here for now. Oh man, perfect. The sun is right in my eyes. It's right over there. I have skylights on the other angle, which brings in a lot of light and allows a lot of radiant heat, and which is not always a good thing on the second floor of a house that's 95 years old. 96. but 97. It's 1925, so 97. Either way, about a century. Clonk. Sorry about that. Hit the mic. This is one of the paint projects I've got set up. It's get you turned, boy. Got that slight purple shading to it because if you hadn't quite picked it up yet, this was actually made with a 3D printer using filament. This was an FDM printed mini. And even after throwing a good amount of primer on it because of the way FDM prints, being semi-porous, it's still, you can kind of pick up the purple underneath. But I don't mind that myself. It's probably going to wash out well once I've got color on them. But this is the kind of level of detail you can get from a filament printer. Better detail than my camera can actually pick up. God damn you. And that'll be a fun one to paint. There's also the, goodness me, everything is dusty because I haven't used it in so long. I just need to break out the air compressor. The last Bones set had Reaper's Bones, their inexpensive minis line, had this customizable dragonling, or dragon person, with like 2 hands out that you could swap out, so you can have like a sword and shield, or a pair of daggers, or a dagger and a sword, or a mace and a shield, or what have you. Or a mug of beer. So I made the Dragon Bro. Or Brovacane. He's got his own mug, and he's gladly handing you one too. I think I had finished blocking out the color on this guy when I had to pack up everything and move, and then just recently broke them out. I also printed up a Harper sigil, as his base. I want to get a couple more of these guys because of the fact that they're so versatile, but I couldn't not. I'll make sure to take a good picture of him. Again, he's like no detailing on him yet, but I couldn't not just give him two mugs and just be all like, he's straight up handing one over to somebody else. He's good friends with the God of Death here, Duo Maxwell. Also, one of the things I need to paint. And then one of the things, easiest print, but one of my favorites is this little dude who's on his knees and has his arms up. It's very basic detailed, but it's meant to hold your paintbrush or your pen mostly, but I have it for paintbrush. And I printed up this cool frickin' not a pentagram because it's a 7-pointed star, and he is now my painting familiar. So he can. He's got a little bit of blue tack to make sure the brush stays put. That was blue tack, you. Blue tack? Really? Oh, this stream brought to you by Blue Tack. But it holds it at a downward angle so that the brush will drain and not let things go back into the ferrule. Because you don't want that to happen. That is how you ruin a brush. He holds whatever paintbrush I am currently using, which I got out my, I had to mark them silver and gold, but one of my Winsor & Newton Series 7 number 1s. Got this Ficus. Extremely fine point, but is also a pretty decent sized brush. And sable, it's organic bristles, so long as you keep it in good shape. And no, sables don't get harmed when they get their fur harvested. They basically just get shaved and they grow more fur. People who say that just need to be. Well, anyway, you can do like 90% of what you want to do on a miniature with this. Have a paintbrush for priming and for sealing, and a paintbrush for dry brushing if you dry brush. And then you could get away with just having this and do extremely well. I think I'm talking myself into doing a painting project today. Oh, and this is, I just started blocking his colors, so he's not even properly done. But this is the previous edition of Simo Qualish. When he switched from being a sniper to being a little bit closer, he switched from having a rifle to taking a pistol he stole off of possibly himself in the future after he killed himself in the future. For the first time. Second time he didn't have a pistol. Also, the best paint stands, or model stands ever for painting. Little plaster in an orange juice bottle. Stays put. Good handle. And in a pinch, like this right here. Got plenty of grip. Accidents happen. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, one of them should only count as half because it's a clone, but we're not sure if the first one was a clone either. Oh yeah, and this one I definitely need to fix. This is a not easy to find figure. It's actually a Virtualon figure. It is the gal I used to run as main in Virtualon. I don't remember her name, but she's basically Sailor Moonbot. And she was fast and swishy. So, perfect for me. Focus, come on, I know it's a lot of shiny plastic. A lot of metallics. But it's a hard model to find. And unfortunately, the rapier broke off. Which is annoying. But I just need to fix that and then find a place to put her. Swear to God, I'm going to glue these fucking jets in. I've got little bits of blue tack in the holes to thicken them up so that they grip better and they still fall off. And I've also got non-painting related projects. I love painting, obviously. You saw the number of paints I have. I've got like 30 or so that I just got in that I need to sort and get put up here because they're all by color. But I also do other things. I use a straight razor when I shave, which I've been doing more because of face tracking. And this is a really, really old ass straight razor that needs a restoration. It's going to be tricky because it's got all of this nice etched detail that's not... It is engraved, but it's very, very light. So I'm going to have to be careful with it. But this has the potential to become a nice, beautiful, sharp blade. The handle is probably not going to be able to be salvaged. Aside from the fact that it's a hideous color, it's mostly that because it's cellophane? Acetate based. Which A, will start to break down and rust the blade, which it already has started to corrode the metal. Not badly though, but also B, it discolors after a while, and I don't think I can refresh it properly. I'm looking forward to doing another one of these. I've restored a couple of straight razors now and exploded one, unfortunately. But that is a project that now that I've got my table open, because this is my main work surface, and then over here I have my paint surface, but I can also, paint anywhere, so since it's currently covered in minis, they're just always generating dirt. I'll probably paint on this surface. think we might be on a time delay, but it is currently 1 minute after the hour to me. You think it'd be cool to watch a straight razor resto? I would be 100% behind doing a straight razor resto on stream. Because it's not too difficult as far as restorations go. Main thing is making sure you don't damage the blade in the process, because these are very finely balanced and you can really screw them up. Indeed. That doesn't look like it's that bad of a... if there is a lag. It looks like we're hanging around 9% dropped frames, so... with, you know, a good bit of that being early on. Because for some reason this fucking camera is perfectly fine for it. Nice low resource on like a static image. Which is also up now that I think about it, because that's what my background is. It's the cherry blossoms there. The static image. Let me... you know what? Let me... while I'm thinking about it, swap blades out, because both of these are dull now. Scalpels and pointies. Around and pointies. Made my own sharps box, because you need one, and also, if you blacksmith, this is good steel, it's just, you'd have to stick it together. But, they're also not hard to make, so it's just taped together and then hole cut in the middle with the tape. Hard part's getting laid out without fucking yourself up. Hey, Kels, darling. Oh, you're calling me fluff now? I mean, only if Ed is okay with it. 'Cause I do love it, but only if Ed is okay, because that's their thing. Alright, trademark infringement. Don't want to get a DCMA strike there, buddy. Actually, looks tarnished. Oh, you cut really well, okay. Your territory is being encroached. Is that the iPhone mic? No, this is a, well, better a turf war than a turf war. This is a Bluetooth headset, speaking of blue. It's got really good audio for myself, except everything sounds kind of crap because it's pushing through Beats software on this laptop. But I'm running everything on an 8-year-old laptop that I have for free, so that was picked out by an engineer who did not actually look at specs, but just looked at features. Love the person, but yeah. So I do apologize for the audio. I apparently sound like a bit like 3Dog. So this is Galaxy News Radio. Keep your eyes sharp out there, kids and kiddos. I don't remember any of his dialogue. Just that he's 3Dog. Although I suppose I'm 2Fox right now. Close enough. Oh yeah, so for bigger miniatures, like a cupcake stand for bougie people from Target, also very good hand holder. And I've got this plus-sized rhino, or this plus-sized unicorn I'm going to paint up. Just nice wash of colors, rainbow from one end to the other. Because, you know, real unicorns have curves too. That is a project for another time. Is 1 dog ain't enough and 2 is too low, it's me, 3Dog. Need to gather more foxes. I mean, if Quilby shows up, then I'll be 3 fox, but then I'll have 2 blue foxes, and that might cause a turf war. Or a floof war. Rhinos are just unicorns. Yes! And when you've got average player versus the rhino you got at Michael's on sale, like that is a perfect size disparity to make a dire unicorn. That's why white rhinos are so sought after. They are the last of the true unicorns. I just got random projects I need to do, like I've got a bunch of these tokens for 3rd edition Runebound I need to paint up because the game comes with cardboard tokens, but I have a 3D printer and these look cool. And then spell slot tokens for my Artificer. Yeah, like, numbers. Paint them up because they're 2 different materials. I ran out of green pretty early. Just sent hippos at the players. Yeah, God. You mean dire warthogs. Actual, factual fucking dire warthogs. Yes, indeed. Hippos do not fuck around. They will wreck you. They will wreck you for fun. So what do I want to do? You know what? Let's... Oh, you're upside down and not waterproof. Cool. I'm going to wash my hand real quick. That's mildly caustic. I should probably take my headset off so you're not hearing my sink. I mean, you could probably still hear my sink, honestly. It's, like, right there. Let's go ahead and... if I have space open, and I have access to tools again, let's actually pop this straight razor apart. There are a couple of ways you can do this. Pins are nickel, so they're pretty sturdy, but also a little soft. And they're always nickel, basically. They've also got a steel washer there that's been peened over with the rest of the nickel. So you can either grind it off, which I don't like because you run the risk of damaging your scales, which if you're keeping them, you don't want to do. These ones are chipped up enough that I probably won't. I might if they clean up well and I can seal them. Another one is to bore through. Just have a bit the same size as the pin, but honestly what I use is these incredibly hard to kill clippers. And just carefully, you might leave a couple of small nicks, but they're easy to buff out. First of all, the washer formed enough it popped right off. So that's... and then all you gotta do is clip far enough in, yeet that piece off into the infinity. I think it went towards the camera because I saw it refocus. And then should be able to take a file and just carefully clean up the surface because it does deform when you use clippers. Soft touch vacuum vise. Just needs to hold it. Actually, that's a terrible idea. Grip the flat of the blade so the edge is fine. Also, be careful when fingering the edge of a freaking straight razor, really. Collar on this thing is stuck, so not going to be able to give you the best angle on it, but I'm just making sure the file goes very flat and being very just methodical in filing down the clip. Like I said, the steel pinches and deforms, or the nickel pinches and deforms, which turns it sort of off-angular and sharp. But if you can file that down just a little bit, the pin will be able to pop out easy. Should probably bring Discord up on my phone, that way if the laptop craps itself, I can see y'all are pinging me. So, you know, like Stream Doko? And then everybody starts streaming. Well, I mean, everybody streams on Thursdays. Thursday's kind of a precursor. Doki Doki. Doki Doki Monster Club. Which, honestly, Paladin, Omega, you are in an odd company when you've got a Yao Guai, a Fox Spirit, and a Fae. And we haven't even walked into a bar yet. Let's secure one. There we go. I like these pointy half-moon ones, because they're rounded on one side, which is going to be captured by the reflection before anything else. Flat on the other side. Come to a point. You've never drank. I'm not surprised at it. You're way too darling to... Now it picks up. Like, it just makes you cuter. Makes you more precious. Makes you say so. Okay. See, it's nice colored. Doesn't quite pick up, but it's a brassy color, but it's pale. As a sign that it is a nickel medium. And because I'm not able to see it at a good angle, you can see scuffs on either side of it. But what if alcohol makes you explode? I mean, that'd be a hell of a stream. It's content, darling. Besides, you should be fine. It's all just spirits, isn't it? Huh? Huh? And that's when I lost data. Able to just do something stupid with this hammer. Wonder how that sounds to you guys. The answer apparently was yes. Working on your slides, just lurking a bit, still listening in the background. Thank you for the lurk, darling. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody who shows. There we go, that's what I was wanting. That was so fucking delayed. The hammers weren't loud? Okay, good. Because it didn't sound too bad to me, but these are, you know, noise-canceling headphones. I ain't hearing shit in my own room. Let's actually give myself a little more room. So normally I'd want to file this direction, so as to run a lower risk of scuffing the scales. Again, I'm not too worried on these ones because they are not in great shape, and they will polish down if I decide to keep them. But it is something you want to think about when you're doing resto, is how you're going to approach something. So you want to be careful. This was probably over-flattened originally because it's still shroom-shaped. And we're down to the surface level on this scale here. Leaning over and making sure I'm not getting in frame so that you can see what's going on, and also so you don't see me. Oh, lore? Did I miss something with lore, darling? Or do you have more lore? You want this pin to be nice and loose when it comes out. You don't want to have to wiggle it back and forth like that, but Kelly's doing lore. You have several pages. I am not surprised. That is what I have come to expect from my friends in the courts. Okay, that's too big, but I do have... Let's see here. That might be too big as well, but this one here, if I'm careful, is pointy enough. And then... rubber hammer. Okay, got it past that one. Oh, man. That's nasty on the inside there. I do not have good hopes of getting these cleaned. And yeah, if you, if you see there, the pin is a little bit banana-shaped. This was over-hammered at the factory probably 70, God, at least 70 years ago, come to think of it. But now I've got more access to the pin, so I'm going to try and do this the proper way so you guys can see that. You just want to get the pin out at this point, but you want to do as little damage as you can. As you can see, I've got a little bit more scuffing. There we go, a little more scuffing, and then there's the cut from the washer, which you'll always have. At this point, I'm just filing the diagonals and turning this into a point. And I should be able to, just with a solid backing, Clomp. Clomp. There we go. Minimal scuffing to it, but you can see I didn't even use the clippers on this side or anything, but this side was also just nicked up. There we go. We've got 1080p, and so this thing should actually look good. Getting into Ficus. Bitrate of the music is sounding like you're on hold with a certain insurance company. I am so sorry. That is just gross. Now it's basically same steps, but with the second pin. Sometimes there's a third pin in the middle that both serves as a stop and also a bolster, so that it's a nice smooth curve, so you don't have any risk of accidentally tucking the blade in wrong and having it skip out of the scales. I'm going to show you in a moment what I'm talking about there. Neat. Because these are flexible, they're fairly bendy. When you're closing the straight razor, instead of going straight down, it could come over onto itself. Or worse, like if it's really too flexy because it's about to break, go outside, so you've got the whole edge exposed. At best, you're chipping this thing up, which you can see actually, if this is a 2-pinner, this chip right here is from that. That's what that is. Because it has eaten itself a couple of times. Can you request Opus number 1, please? I don't know if it's copywritten. I'm going to be honest. Otherwise, I would put a 1-hour mix of Opus number 1. And this one, normally there's a third piece here, an inset between the two. That creates a wedge to create that flare shape. But in this case, it was ground into the handle. Into the scale. I don't know. It's a handle scale, so handle or scale is fine. Terminology nerds will get on my ass. I have legitimately listened to Opus number 1 on mix for over 12 hours before. I genuinely like it. I'm not gonna lie, I know I'm weird. I know I'm weird like that. It's cool. Actually, since these are scales that we're trying to see if we can keep, not feeling good about it, but try to keep, get as close as possible, so there's less leveraging force against scale material. Okay, boomer counter. What got me into specifically straight razor restoration? I use a straight razor to shape with. I really got tired of, at the shit pay I was making at gas stations, paying $10 a cartridge for, at the time, and it's more expensive now, but for like Mach 3 razor cartridges, and the cheaper 1 and 2 bladed ones are not comfortable. They're all done with a compromise in order. These ones were not going to come out cleanly. I would have had to have soaked this whole thing for it to come out cleanly. They're a compromise for safety, not for actual quality. And that's fine, but I'm a competent adult. If I cut myself, I cut myself. So I bought a straight razor off Amazon. think it was some hipster bullshit because the plastic case it came with, or tomb, as they call it, said East Germany on it, but I know it was not, or West Germany, but I know it was not that old. I bought it off Amazon. But it was a good one. It was a good razor, and then I just thought, I've got a workshop. I can start doing projects, and then I saw, I'm not going to name the name because I don't want to talk shit, but there's a famous YouTube person in the world of, like, crafting and, back in the day, like, household hacks and practical jokes and shit. He got into resto because that was the meme for a bit there. And he did a restoration on a straight razor that was just so fucking bad. He didn't post for like a month or two after making that one because people drug him. And I was on that. I dragged him. I'm sorry. He did a shit job. Because it was a Dollar Shave Club ad. That's what it ultimately was. I'm just like, I could do a fucking better job than this guy. I am pissed. Money, mouth, so forth. So I restored my first straight razor resto. Let me go grab it and my actual daily driver. Real quick. Now to see how well this Bluetooth works partway across the room. Hope there's no drop in audio quality, guys. As I walk back with incredibly sharp objects. So, this is my daily driver. It's a Dovo made out of Solingen steel, best quality as it says. I believe it. Juggle. These are actually antique scales. The blade that was with this resto project exploded. There was some sort of void in the steel or something, but as I was running sanding films over it, getting a polish onto it, I think the heat built up or something, but it fractured. I wasn't pushing down or anything, so I know not to do that, but it fractured, it broke, and was unusable, but the scales came out really good, because it actually came with creaky plastic scales. But that's that one, and then this one was actually in worse shape than this one here. And it came out really good. You can still see some of the scratches from me surfacing it, but it is a Simon Cool Men You're Not brand straight razor. They went out of business in they're made in Brooklyn, New York. I think they went out of business in the 40s. It's got this nice antique brocading on it, Simon embedded in the scale. The scales came out really good. They were not decaying. And it's a three bolster. One at the hand, one here, and then one in the middle, so it will not chip itself unless you're doing it something stupid. But just it looks nice. And because it lost some material when I polished it, and because it's a really well balanced quality blade to begin with, this thing cuts. Like it just goes right through. It is fantastic and I love it. This one has served me well for literally the cheapest straight razor you could get off Amazon that's actually a straight razor. But almost dropped it and almost cut myself at the same time. That is the power of a straight razor. But it's heavier, so you don't need to apply as much force, but it also doesn't have as sharp of an angle to it, because it's never been restoed, and it was made modern times and inexpensively. But it could be better, but it works well. Let me grab a cup of water so I can clean the scales. I was about to say, do I have any disposable cups, but I'm sure I do. Fuck it, coffee cup. Yeah, y'all are gonna get that sync ASMR. Cup of dusty water, because it's been that long since I've had anybody up here for coffee, and this is not the one I drank out of. And then there we go. Some basic sanding sponges, paper towel. How about you guys? Does anybody here do crafting? Crafting, resto, any sort of the thing? I know, of course, Fox, you restore glasses for a living, so maybe don't do much crafting at home. Or like asking a chef to cook. Get over the camera. But too lazy. Repairs is all that you do. Fair enough. No judgments on that. Oh my god. Is that gonna show? There we go. So this is why I wanted to try and keep the scales, if possible, because, like, just a single wipe down on this one completely picked it up by comparison. Still kind of an ugly color, but I just took the yellow right off of that. I need to move that. That's annoying. I've got a little, like, small bottle brush type thing, like for a straw. Because, you know, fine pointed brushes are really useful for cleaning things. But, it's right where it catches my hair. And of course, that's a bunch of little bristles that come at your head, and you just end up wearing an accessory. Let me actually dry this real quick and get a shot of these two next to each other with my phone. It's got light that from above, so I just noticed. Not sure if you can, well, you can't see that because the light's down now. Get back up there, lamp. You are awkward. The lamp is another restoration project of mine that I kind of half-assed. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be perfectly honest on that. I got it working, and then I got it on a mount, but the mount is a C-clamp. So it's not exactly, it mounts to the table well, it counts, but it's not quite. See right there, it says fully warranted. Not warranted, warranted. This straight razor is warranted. It is required. That's fantastic. I'm going to need more paper towels, but I have a dispenser just on the edge of the table there. This is still the first scale. Honestly, I'm going to see how this polishes up, because I bet it comes out a little more vibrant, like a olive drab ivory, which sounds pretty gross to be honest, but it's going to be better than dirt or tobacco-stained window of a 57 Chevelle. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much about this clip here on it. From the racer being operated poorly. But I can see. I'm tempted to turn this into a 3 bolster. I mean, that's kind of a touch too far because I'm excessively modifying it by turning it into something that's not, but 3 bolster is just superior, plain and simple. Gross. My hands are gross. And let's go to the 400 grit, which is pretty clogged. I need to cut a new one soon. That's something I can do on stream. Sharpen my damn kitchen knives. You know, enough for a kitchen knife tutorial, or a sharpening tutorial? Maybe not today, but Saturday I'm going to be back in the workshop. I might be on the other side where I can put a comfortable chair. Yeah, the color of this that's coming off of it is pretty freaking gross. Get Scully pushed back a bit. Don't need my brush right now. Check out whatever generally. Fair enough. A lot of wear to it, a lot of age, yeah. This needs replaced. I think maybe the 600's fine, but the rest of them probably. This one, the 400, definitely needs replaced. I might just cut that now. I probably should cut that now, but 400's like the smallest I'm going, so sure it'll be fine. Get one more straight razor blade out, or one more straight razor out of it. A lot of years we're buffing off of this thing. Let me actually put the another sponge down so it's got a little bit grip. Sponge side up, not sand side up, of course. And then ultimately the steps for this process are clean up the handle, so wash and then sand and polish the scales, make sure that they're usable. I'm going to go with wash and then the first couple sandings to make sure. If there's any cracks in it, I probably can't use it, honestly. But then clean, so I'm probably going to actually, this is not going to be finished tonight because what I need to do is take my rust eater, my Evaporust, and drop this thing in it to get rid of all that rust. It's got a decent amount of scaling to it. You can't really see too well because it's all shiny still. I mean, even the rust is shiny. But clean that and then polish up the handles, polish up the blade. And then it's got, oh man, those are hand cut. Nice. These hand cut scallops, which are good for grip, but you also want them on the back. They just are basically really best on the front. And I think what I might do, is scallop the back. I'm going to see how cleaning up the ones on the front go. And re-depthing them. But get this clean, get the rust off of it, and then polish it up. restore the marks to it, and then reassemble. Straight razors have very few parts, so they are not complicated by any means. Yeah, this cup of water is gonna look like my paint water after doing a platoon of Space Orcs. Now, things in the resto world which of course ultimately it's your project, you can do what you want with it, but just don't make it unusable. But things in the resto world that are considered perfectly acceptable include cleaning up mold lines, casting marks, and other defects. So what I'm going to be doing and what I'm doing now is polishing the edge here, just to make it a little bit rounder. These are sponges, so they bend a bit. So as it wears down the material, it actually creates a better angle for rounding things off. Best thing about using sanding sponges. And yeah, this is definitely an acetate scale. Or no. That actually smells like rubber. Acetate was oftentimes used because it had a pearlescent finish to it and can be mixed like Bakelite to have a swirly pattern like my Simon over there. And it can look really pretty, it can look like ivory or polished bone without being as expensive as ivory or polished bone. But it also breaks down, and as it breaks down, one of the chemicals that it releases, it off-gases, rusts metal. Rusts ferrous metal specifically. So it will destroy your blade if you keep it locked away in a tomb in a case for quite some time. Now that can be fixed now if the scales aren't too bad because you can seal it, or honestly just cleaning them, getting them refreshed, goes a long way to fixing that. But there's no really reversing the process. Oh yeah. That's got a rubber smell to it. No doubt in my mind. This is probably vulcanized rubber, or some sort of early polymer using it. I'm just taking down the scuffs that are on either side of the top bolster, the blade pin. And one thing about sanding and sharpening alike, any sort of media reduction where you're going through different grits or smoothnesses of grinding device, that is extremely important. Is making sure you've got the marks from the previous size or previous grit of object, of tool, out of the material with the next stone or sanding film or what have you, before moving on to the one after that. Actually, what's wrong with the blade on my Simon is that I put some scratches into it that I did not get completely out because I moved on too early. And those scratches are incredibly shiny. They are hard to pick up on camera, but they did not go away. Almost there. once these initial markings are gone, the subsequent films are going to be a lot easier. So this is just super exciting stuff. This is just me rubbing back and forth on this. Each grit you have, make sure you finish up with the next one, basically. Yes, exactly. You want to make sure that you take those marks out. It's especially important with sharpening because you are doing that to a very fine surface that the amount, a very small surface, that the amount of and size of the cuts, the scars from the stone that are left literally determines its capabilities. You dug dirt and stone for 2 hours. Dirt and stone, brother! Not quite the same. But yeah, I mean, you were also playing Minecraft. Everybody likes Minecraft. Not sure how people like glitchy, scuffed stream of a hand moving way faster than 30 FPS. But then again, I've never claimed to be anything but that quality second screen content. Like, if I were watching me, I would probably put myself on the second monitor and be knee-deep in something involving my attention, so I'm listening to it and going, ha, that's cool, and occasionally looking over. I'm speed. Just move the mouse so you don't keep slapping it, for fuck's sake. I'm not even recording on this, by the way. I'm going to trust that the VOD is going to be fine. Because I can't give up the bandwidth, the processing power for recording. It's an 8-year-old laptop that's running Windows 10. Just let that sink in. $12 gigs of DDR 2400. Now you realize you forgot to record today. The video editing software in Twitch is pretty decent. And you can export that. It'll be at stream quality, so if you record at higher quality normally, it's going to be a dip for you, but I usually record at stream quality myself anyway. It's actually taking some of that niche out there. That's still going to be there, but if I can minimize it, I think these scales are salvageable. And this project already, by dint of you guys being here and me wanting to actually look like I'm competent, saved the project. Good work. Yeah, that took that out to a degree. I'll drop down more and more. Of course, the inner side doesn't have to be too perfect, because you're not going to see much of it. Yeah, woof indeed. I'm running OBS with everything you're seeing running on it. With DeoTube Mini voice attack for reasons I don't understand, because it's not like it's going to pick up me saying darling anytime soon. And Amazon Music on Windows 10 on a 4th Gen i7 2.5 GHz core with 12 gigs of DDR 21 or 2400. It's not good. The fact that it works at all is amazing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm happy about that. Let's actually get this cleaned up real quick, because it's going to just take a little bit of wiping to get the surface dirt off, and then the rust is going to come off in the bucket of Evaporust. Which, let me grab that now that I'm thinking about it. since that's got to go in there as soon as possible, because it takes forever. Because Evaporust is a perfectly safe, fairly non-toxic, derusting polymer that will safely just remove, there we go, just remove rust. But also, because of that, because of it being so safe, it takes a while to work. For Potato, this stream would have been hella better back in 2016. Probably. I also need to put a plastic basket in here because I went through a lot of my anti-rust power using this metal one that, on the other hand, is extremely clean. I just drop that in there and put this off to the side somewhere. I'll move my mini stand I need to paint also. Put you in the corner. Since you guys probably don't want a sorting out paint stream, like, I'm all for experimenting with material, but that just, I don't even want to do it. You guys sure as hell don't want to watch it. Now, one thing I am doing is I'm applying a reasonable amount, I'm applying some pressure here as I turn it, but not a whole lot. But I am applying pressure and turning it, and if doing that causes it to flex and break, that's actually another really great sign that you could not save the scales. And I've had that happen, because I had this like really nice looking scale set on another razor I restoed, that they looked amazing. Looks like stained glass. That's because they were transparent acetone that had shattered. It was kept in place basically by surface tension and gumption. As I turned it, it just exploded. It just fell apart. And there's really nothing that would have saved that, honestly. Maybe if I had seen that, I could have gotten it into some stabilizing resin first, but I was still cleaning it. Stabilizing resin on something like that would be the last step, or one of the last steps for it. So otherwise you're just sealing in all that dirt. And this is just the way this goes. I have a Amazon-enabled FBI wiretap hockey puck behind me on a 2.1. Normally I'll be blasting music from it, but since I have you fine, wonderful people, I am listening to the dulcet tones of Stream Beats on a headset that is good enough to tell that the bitrate is shitty right now. Now, if I wanted to cheat, I could put an 800 grit sanding band on my micro belt sander. I say band because, I mean, they're technically a belt sander, but it's so small it's a band, in my mind. But, as much as that would make this process faster, I would have less control over it, and I kind of like having the control over it. If there's a choice between speed and control, I generally go with control. Obviously optimized for both, that's fantastic, but a teensy tiny belt sander about the size of this device here, it's not really something it controls well. Fucking Amazon, or fucking Facebook ads. I tell you what, probably the best thing about leaving Facebook last summer was I'm not seeing those fucking ads and going, fine, let me Google the site, see if it's a scam. Now we're slowly creeping up there on lost frames. It's now 10.4% average. But I've also been live for almost 2 hours. Neat. Honestly, I did not think I would. I figured I would notice the fact that I'm sitting in this uncomfortable ass stool. Why are these dice made from the bones of ancient? Okay, yes. Just provide credit card and soul. Stupid ads. Yeah, that's how a friend of mine got scammed by the Mammoth Tusk dice. Because there's like a company or two that does them correctly and ethically, and then there's companies that will just fuck you. Mammoth Tusk, not Tooth. I do kind of want a Mammoth Tusk die, but even with pulling an awful lot of a lot of Mammoth Tusks out of Siberia with global warming, making it actually possible to replace ivory with ivory. Like, they're still expensive as hell. Also, haha, the world is dying, but we're also getting a great look at the world that we're killing as it slowly melts and deteriorates around us, so that's kind of weird. Liquid-filled ones, buddy got ripped off. Oof, those liquid-filled ones look really cool. Not gonna lie, they look neat. One of the reasons why I try not to buy extremely extravagant dice is that I never know if I'm gonna get fucked over on them. $20 for bad dragon, well, 37 with shipping. I paid almost as much for shipping as I paid for the dice, but yeah, I paid a lot for those bad dragon dice, but they're bad dragon dice. They match my hoodie and my scarf and a couple of things I've got on a shelf. Well, the company reputation too. Ooh. So that's kind of why I don't mind buying from Wish when I'm looking at something and I'm just like, you know, what the hell? Because I'm paying almost nothing and I know I'm getting screwed. But sometimes it comes out okay. Like, I got quite a few tools off of Wish that are fine. Dildo swag, yeah, monster dildo swag, yes. But you see, the scarf and the hoodie are fantastic because they are very stealth ways of telling people you're a pervert, as well as ways of trolling people. Because if you're out in public wearing a Bad Dragon hoodie, what are they gonna say if they spot it? You has a lore. Congratulations, you have summoned the Lorax. I love lore myself. I do not have 4 pages of background material because, you know, don't kiss and tell necessarily, but I am pretty public about the fact that I was cursed, that I was a bit of a prick beforehand. Part of why I kind of earned the curse. Only a paragraph. That's fine. I mean, still doing better than those contrarians who are all like, oh, real VTubers don't have lore. My lore is that I don't have any lore. Fuck you. Not that I'm judging, you know, people like Doppel who just don't come up with lore. There is a difference. 100%. One paragraph actually sounds, I mean, doesn't sound bad given Doppel does have lore, yes. Mostly because chat forced it. Beep beep, I'm a sheep. Also, her village was destroyed by pogo sticks. That was determined. She obviously has a robot husbandry card. Okay, everything but... because this is the one I clipped. Yeah, this is the side I clipped, so this is the side I filed, and thus the side that I marred the most, and it's coming out pretty good. But I can't quite get the ring from the washer out. I don't want to do too much more and strip off too much of the surface, but it's very much reduced, and it'll be covered up by yet another washer. The beep beep on the sheep is too catchy. Yeah, 100%. Originated from an old NPC, so lots of prior damage on that automobile vehicle. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Everything's 100% true. There's no lore as much as just my personal history, yo. Because VTubers are 100% real. I am absolutely look like this. I mean, you can tell. I mean, okay, the enchantment's a little bit different. I'm not actually wearing my glove, but your lore is that sound alert still doesn't work on this thing. That is fantastic. Also, you're surrounded by assholes, which is accurate. If we see that, remember what it looked like before with those scuffs in it. They're just literally not there. Took those right off. And then since this is... ooh, that's a crack. Soon, my friend, soon you'll be able to rest, but not now. Got some more work to be done. 400 grit sponge. But, saying something. Since this is the deepest grit, it sort of sets the base. This is the stock removal, and the rest is going to be progressive levels of polish. You know, I think I will be finishing this one up Saturday on my crafting stream. Because the blade will be ready by then. I'll pull it out of the pot. There'll be a lot of repetitive polishing in that. So prepare for this, but only with metal, so more carefully. And also me going, ah, fuck, I wasn't careful. And then final check over and reassembly, because I think I'm gonna keep these scales. These look nice. I mean, they look kind of ugly, but that's mostly just the color is not my style. But there's... let's see if the camera will even pick it up. If not, I'll take a picture of it. Just barely, right there by my thumb, by my finger. There's a crack from the blade coming out and over, same as what happened here, which that actually has been polished down to look more like a defect. But Completing projects for the wind, yes. More visible on the outside. I'll get some pictures up though. But otherwise, these are nice and strong. Like they're. And of course, if it breaks, then obviously it wasn't strong enough, and I needed to replace them anyway. So, they're just not a color I would prefer generally. Feels less green, more gray, or more green, less gray. More jean, less gray. And this is why I have a projects completed and a in process in the Discord. Phoenix, yes. That joke was pretty hot. But these progressive stages are going to get easier, and then I'm going to... I'm going through probably 12, 14 stages. 16, maybe. I'm trying to remember how many colors of... Wait. Did I cut small ones? Son of a bitch. Alright. Congratulations, you guys have been relegated to security pad. 300, or 320, 400 done, 600. Just got a drawer full of tiny micro scrubbos. Yeah, no, you have yourself a lovely night, Fox, darling. It is always good to have you here. Darling. There we go, for fuck's sake. I think the next thing I'm going to invest in, is next major investment is going to be a stream box. You have yourself a lovely night, consume rest, and make the best you can at work. I mean, now you're on your way out, but still, it's, do what you can. Which, goes for a couple of people. No. I would love to hear your lore if you'd like to share it. But you probably posted it to Twitter already. In which case, if that's the case, I will check it out after stream, because I don't dare open Twitter on this thing right now. Yeah, you've got a paragraph. Yeah, part of it is the camera. It's on a bendy arm mount. I am sorry about that. I'm trying to minimize the wobble, but it's going to happen so long as I am rubbing on the surface of the table. Even being off of it. Yep, sorry, camera wobble is just going to happen on this setup. Be a little less noticeable if I get the hammer out of the way so it's not creating a constant stable point of reference. The Zone's first VTuber. That is fucking amazing. I love it. I adore it, Kells, and that is 100% fabulous. It's just a shame I am duty now. Just kidding. Like I could ever. Yeah, cleaned up nice. Boo. Gonna be real awkward if I find another VTuber stalker from the zone, though. Right? Oh god, speaking of which, the mission where you're escorting the, like when you first go into the wild zone and you have to escort the scientists, I just got done with that and was walking back, right? So I'm not that far in, honestly. And some motherfucker from Monolith shows up. Just a single dude from Monolith. Join Freedom, you'll get a free G36. Or shoot a guy who has a G36. Have you considered that? But, yeah, no, a single guy from Monolith. Black power armor, black exosuit, and a heavy 556. It was not in Yantar. That's the thing, it was in Wild Zone. It was 50, maybe 100 meters from the where you go in to the building, go around, and then go out. So basically the proper gate to Wild Zone. It was by the helicopter, to be honest. It was by the helicopter. Just random monolither. Tough fucking fight. Just, yeah, usually it's just mercs or it's higher end bandits. Because it was after I walked him back to Yantar, and I was walking back, sorting through gear, because I left a big old pile of guns. I actually lost the special deagle, because it got picked up by somebody. But I also didn't want to use it anyway. It's horrible. But yeah, no, just nobody with him. Just a Monolith guy with a 556 rifle that was heavier hitting than the Scar. Don't remember what it is exactly. It's like the next step up from a Scar, which Scar is usually where I stick for a good while. And he took many a magazine because I had a Scar actually. And he was in full fucking power armor, but he eventually came down. Yeah, there's Scars in Shadows of Chernobyl. They're one of the more common 556s. No, I'm not playing a mod. It's straight stock. I'm pretty sure it's a Scar that I'm thinking of. I know there are Scars in stock, Shadows of Chernobyl. I mean, they're not called that, of course, because I didn't want to risk it, but... walks like a duck, and it talks like a duck, and it appears and operates like a scar. Probably a scar or a duck. SG550, I think, is what it's called. I think it is the SG550, which I want to say is what they labeled the scar. I might be mistaken on that. And we'll find out Sunday. SGI5K. SIG AR. I might be mistaken then. Ba 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 ba. It's a scar and anomaly, but it's 762 NATO and pretty boss. Well, yeah, I mean, it's 762 NATO. Also known as the okay, Russians had a point, kind of. Normally making ammo more realistic is pretty nice. Yeah. Slides you have, bio, games you play, likes and dislikes. Like, freedom, dislike, beauty. Fuck duty, all my homies hate duty. Well, yeah. You hang out with good people. And me. As I go progressively up, I actually don't need to apply as much sanding. I need to get those previous marks out, of course. But I'm not doing stock removal. Just need to, I mean, it's still technically stock removal, it's surface material removing, but it's not hogging the stuff off. Purpose is no longer to remove the scarring that is deeper than the sandpaper. Bunch of bigger VTubers are playing golf with your friends right now. Nice. You did beat him to the punch. I was watching Quilby do that on her 24-hour stream, and good God, that game looks horrifying. I mean, fun, but... the only mini golf game where the balls are salty. Heyo. Okay. So I just screwed up the surface a bit, but I went the wrong direction intentionally just to see what the scratch size on this sanding film is, and is what I've got currently going lateral. So now I've got to remove all those horizontal scratches that I just put in, but at least I know I've got the surface right. Let's go back down one side so I'll make it easier to remove the scratches I just put in. I just need to repolish this side is all. It's a good thing to check, but not necessarily as vigorously as I just did it, because then you gotta undo it. That's just more work. I just made more work for myself. Good at that. There we go. I wanted to do one of the collabs with the Bunsen crew, but my anxiety keeps kicking up. And there's some things I want to work on before inflicting myself on a large group of people. That and Aru is open to collabing with anybody and everybody, and that's going to be smaller because Aru has anxiety problems and doesn't want to deal with a lot of people at the same time. So it's going to be me and her, or me and her and Falzo, and Quilby or somebody else, 2 or 3 people basically, and that'll be great. That will be fantastic. That is a manageable number of motherfuckers. Plus Rio probably won't be there, so I won't have to worry about the number of motherfuckers I drop. I can tell it's been a while since I've done this. My arm is already tired. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 10 more to go. Might be saving some of this polish for Saturday. I don't know. Also, just being somebody's at like 60-some follower count, I feel awkward collabing because I am absolutely at that point just harvesting off of larger streamers at the same time. That's literally kind of the point, is to share communities and get followers. Well, that and also, you know, multiplayer games can be fun. I hear, in theory. Small collab gang, rise up. But, like, not a bunch of us. Some of them do. And when you get into the mid-range, and then into in the high end, it's just a matter of, like, you know, person from HoloLive or someone doesn't even know I exist, and that's fair. But, like, when you get into the mid-tier around partner, or where it's within reasonable distance, people get really pissy. Not everyone, of course. But enough of them feel like you're trying to mooch off of them. And then, of course, their fandom also goes at your face. I mean, not that I've asked anybody to collab. I've literally asked Aru only because she was like, drop me a message, respond to this tweet. I just want to collab with people. I want to meet new people. I don't care if I know you. I don't care if you're a smaller streamer. Honestly, if you're a partner, you would probably want smaller VTubers to stream with, but definitely a level of reputation / trust. Yeah. Honestly, I would, if I ever got to that point, I would still raid smaller streamers, VTubers preferably, and collab with people on my level or lower, just because I want to spread the love. I want to support. A lot of people got me to where I'm at now with affiliate over 6 months. And I appreciate that, and I want to put it forward for other people. Help those ones that have no voice right now, but are diamonds in the rough. One of the reasons why I like Fox and Lunaris, aside from the fact that we just get along on a personality level, is that they're good at what they're doing. I want to see them do more of it. They got some strong potential. I do not know who FaZe Connect is, but I take it that's a bigger name. But definitely somebody with several thousand followers. Okay. Kind of up-and-coming agency? Okay. So better than the up-and-coming agency by a certain mutual of ours, Kels? You know, the one that vaporized? Best cursed roster? Lurst? You know, the person we know in IRL. Used to room with you. I mean, they were a VTuber group. And now I'm just being kind of a bitch. No worries, darling. Ah. You are a very open person. That's one of the most endearing things about you, Kels, darling, is that you're all right. You're just, I mean, you know, aside from phobes and turfs and fascies, but those are just, that's just a different definition of anti-hater, really. Fun dislikes. You don't like tomatoes. How are you ever going to know how many feet are in a mile if you don't like tomatoes? I mean, that counts, darling. It counts. I don't know if I did both scales with the green. I think I did. Let's do a quick pass. Just to be sure. Ah, it's just splattering everywhere.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name
Oh
of the
my
ship was
god, this
Bellerophon.
is really showing how terrible the audio quality is. I'm sorry, guys.
Below me, bully boys blow. Soon may the weathermen come to bring us
Oh
sugar
god, I just heard it dip.
One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd
I might just use the active USB that I have for running my Stream Deck to run the camera and then use my long cables. I think they might be able to reach to Emdra, darling, hello. Ah, will the darling counter actually work? This is some scuffed streamage. I am sorry, darling, but it is. I'm operating from my workshop off of an 8-year-old laptop. Yeah, this is a great version. It sounds horrible. I can hear the audio quality is awful. It is. Honestly, this is probably how I'm going to get rid of my backlog of projects, is the fact that you guys can hold my ass accountable. Hey, how's that straight razor going? Saturday? I do like that this is a good backup option. I think for Saturday I am going to try and stretch my, bring my chat up, have the laptop still sitting here and just bring up the stream on it to watch the chat, but run my USB for my camera on the extender I have for running my Stream Deck off of my arm in VR, and use my long cables for, oh god, that's the gross one. That's the throwaway pile, whoops. Use my long XLR cables, and bring an actual microphone over here to this Bluetooth headset, which, working on a straight razor. I don't have the blade right now because it's in a bucket of evaporust over here, but I'm cleaning up the scales. I'll be posting before and after photos, but they're getting clear enough that the camera really doesn't want to try and pick it up, which, from what they looked like before, is pretty damn good. But I am restoring a straight razor. Got the thing apart, got the parts cleaned. Now the straight razor blade is sitting in evaporust to remove the rust off of it, and I'll do another round of cleaning on it because you gotta do that. And then it's gonna get a series of sandpaperings, or sanding films I should say, to take pitting and such off of it, hopefully without removing the etchings, because the etchings look really fucking good. Clean up a couple of mold marks and such, or grind marks I should say. No, mold marks on a straight razor blade. If I don't have it done by then, because I might stop here soon just because this is tiring, finish polishing these scales up. Or, I mean, do I really need to go to like 12 to 14,000 grit for the scales? I don't know. Once it's cleaned, assemble it and then sharpen it. And what I'll do that way, and since I'm doing an 8-hour stream Saturday for crafting, is I will also grab my kitchen block, a knife block, and show y'all how to use stones. Teach people how to get stoned. I am from the Northwest. But I am currently streaming from a 8-year-old HP Envy laptop that runs off like a 4th gen i7 and 12 gigs of RAM. So I do apologize for the quality constantly dipping. That's why I'm talking about running 20 feet of cables instead for Saturday. Nice to hear me talk. Oh, Speedy, I appreciate that. You are just the best. I love listening to you talk in your streams too. I mean, I also love listening to you squeal and be surprised and swear. Which is, a good thing that you're playing Elden Ring, I guess. But I really like your voice. It's distinct. I'm not saying that in a way that, some shittier people say distinct in a way of saying it sounds like shit, but I want to try and be nice. Your voice is just genuinely distinct and very pleasant. You're welcome, darling. Okay. Once again, this is why I have a towel dispenser right on the corner of my desk. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've been angling my body wrong because I just got a stitch in my side moving. Ooh, that sucks. Telephone audio quality just makes it more immersive. I mean, appreciate that. If you guys are enjoying it, you guys are enjoying it. But I do want to try and... Ow, for fuck's sake, stop attacking my head. You know what, you're coming down. Fuck you. Do want to bring highest quality I can, of course. But if this is working for you guys, I'm not going to complain. Seriously, I should refund your points because that's pretty obvious. You are darling. You're the darling Dread. You're my Dread darling. You are the darlingest darling to set foot in the city of Darling. I don't know if you've ever been to Darling. Yeah, you say it enough times, it'll pick up eventually. You are absolutely 100% certified USDA Choice Darling. I would not have it any other way. Big stretch, okay. Let me just make sure surface looks good. I think I am going to have some... You know what, I think actually... might not go much further. I think with this material... semi-matte really works. If I were to full gloss it, it would pick up the fact that it's a really kind of ugly gray. Gonna overinflate your ego, yes. I will inflate your ego, making it all big and round. Standing too, because, oh god, this is like, oh. The stool was designed, or picked up for its portability and its durability. Not at all for its comfort. Holy fuck. My ass hasn't been this sore since the pandemic started. Oh, and those were at least more interesting times. Oh, God. I haven't been this butthurt since the end of Game of Thrones. Like, I'm serious, darling. I was genuinely salty that the end of The Big Bang Theory was better than the ending of Game of Thrones. Because Big Bang Theory is not quality content. By any means. But it went out like a fucking pro. I think what I will do is I will stop at this one. Because getting into squeaky calibers. Nice. So what I'm going to have to do is, because I'm going to probably leave small tap marks when I pin this anyway, and the pins have to be filed down and polished, I'm going to be polishing this no matter what. I think I'll save myself the time of polishing it and then marring it and then polishing it, and just pick up at this level when I do the pins. Yeah. George R. R. Martin has been quoted as saying that he has no interest in finishing Game of Thrones because the TV show, quote unquote, finished it. Plus, I mean, he gets a stipend for continuing to write the series. So as long as he's writing the series, he gets some amount of money. Oh, sorry, Nightbot hit ya. That was Symbols. God damn it, Nightbot, really? Yep, he got hit by a bot. Tell Alter if you see Alter later, if you go to meet him in person, tell him to get his cousins on a fucking chain. A lot of periods. Okay. Yeah, one of the things is established writers like Martin, if they're working on a series, they get a stipend while they're working on it and then a payout for each book. But if you're burnt out on it and you don't want to do it anymore, you just continue to work on the project until they force your hand or you die. As a backup plan for this, most publishing companies have ghostwriters ready to step in or assistant writers ready to step in that also keep an eye on your ass. So you're putting in some amount of work, but ready to step in if you do pass to finish the project. And it's just, this was his biggest accomplishment, his biggest work. God, that looks so good. You know what? I take it back. I am going to have to polish these all the way, but not this time. Because I'm going to have to pin them. Like I said, there's no point in polishing them, fucking them up with the pinning, and then polishing them again. But, and my hands are locking up. Like, it was his opus. His opus number 1. And then 2 motherfuckers you entrusted with the project to give it a good ending. Not maybe not your ending, because you're still working on that, and that's fine, but you told them where it was going. You told them how it was getting there. And they get a call from Disney and say, hey, you guys are doing really good on Game of Thrones. When it's wrapped up, you want to take over Star Wars for us? And they say, sure thing. And then they rush the last 2 seasons, half-ass everything, and then hit the eat seat, and just fuck everything up. Oh, they lost that job hard. I mean, first of all, they destroyed their credibility doing that, so Disney was probably going to throw them out anyway, but they also just weren't good at it, apparently. Martin did world building. Don't know what parts of the world building, but world building. Other than Tri-Finger Butthole, yeah. Need to de-shrimp my hands. Like, if you're already burnt out working on a project and you just want it, you want to get it done. You owe it to your fans. You know that much. But then, like, an adaptation of it just says, let me just piss in all of your Cheerios. Later, we got another job. I could see how that could easily kill every inch of interest a person has in it. Getting down to the point where I'm not sure what is stuff on the scale from sand or sanding and what's just material that didn't wipe off. Like, it's getting to that final level where you run your finger over it and the grain changes. And crap, some of those lateral scratches from seeing where I was depth-wise did not come out, but, or not lateral, horizontal, but it all does look pretty good. I'm going to notice that. It's not going to pick up on the camera. It's not going to pick up on any camera. But I will know it. And it'll be the death of me. Check symmetry real quick. Pretty good. Let's get a couple pictures. It's going to be hard to take. I suppose that's a good sign because it means that they are very polished. Oh, God. Suffering. Okay. I'm gonna stop there before I die. My hands are... Oh, God. I don't know if it's gonna show up, but... They're olive drab now. Disgusting. Okay, I'm gonna actually pop up onto my phone real quick to see who we can raid out to. I'm gonna keep it on this screen because apparently chatting runs more resources than the camera does, which is fucking hilarious. I will do my best not to die. Alphanix is doing Friday Night Funking. Bazarova is doing Tarkov. Zalian is doing Jackbox. I said doing, not darling. Selfish. Sassy bitch robot. I can see why. You know what? I now see why Raffi fights with that thing. Oh, Enya's doing Call of Cthulhu. Selfish is doing Audica. Allie somehow has 35 people watching her play DVD. No judgments on her, but she's... Oh no, she's been on a lot. Yeah, she's been doing good. She's been growing, which is great. Maybe she'll eventually stop saying that there's like a million other people that we should be watching instead. Okay. Anybody have a recommendation? Yeah, one of the many missed Darjeelings. Okay, you win this round, robot. Actually, you know what? I am... Dear Judy, friend of yours, not a VTuber. Started playing Phasmo, though? Alright. Oh, no pop-up. I don't want the fucking Windows pop-up, you piece of shit. Yeah, Heather finished, but it looks like Zalian is still doing Jackbox. Let's go with Dear Judy. I don't have any other recommendations, honestly. Oh, this is such an awkward way of doing things, goddamn. Does that go? There we go. Nifty. Let me put us to the end screen, see how that kills frame rate. Let's go ahead and raid out. See you guys. Oh god, that didn't even pretend to look good. Holy shit. This poor machine. Alright, you have yourself a lovely night then, Kells darling. But as always, it has been fantastic to have you folks here. Thank you so much for showing up. It really made getting this project started so much better. And I am absolutely going to complete it Saturday. Come in Saturday around noon-ish. Hard on the ish though for hopefully at least an 8-hour crafting stream. And then Sunday turning around and doing a shitload of gaming, or at least 8 hours of that as a stress test of my existence. But as always, be the monster you needed as a child. Love without hesitation. And fight for peace. I love you all and have a wonderful night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.